And we are here at the San Diego Polo Club for the San Diego Surf Cup. This is a boys under 13 matchup between Knott's Forest in black and Bethesda Real in the whites. Bethesda Real from Maryland making the long trip out here, and Knott's Forest, a local team from San Diego. Coaches for each team. Coaching the Knott's Forest team is Eric Anderson, and the coach for Bethesda Real is Jonathan Colton. Manager Susan Green for Bethesda Real, and the manager for Knott's Forest, Paige Caswell. Knott's Forest moving from our right to left. And number 9, Kyler McLaughlin, playing it out of bounds for a Real throw-in. Ian Allers with the throw-in for Real. Bethesda trying to work it here on this near side, the right side, but unable to keep it in is Ian Allers. So it'll be a throw-in for Knott's Forest. All the early action in the Knott's Forest half of the field. Looking to push it up. Real calling for a switch, but the ball's turned over in the middle, and that's number 10 for Real, bringing it into the box. That was Ya Amankwa with some good moves to get it into the box, but just lost the handle on it, and it was collected easily enough by Alex Kirkwood. Ball kept in. Ian Allers in the midfield doing a good job here. Ball crossed the line for a Real throw-in. Ball to number 7, Colin Martin for Real. Trying to find Marcus Salon de Feur. And it's Salon de Feur that's going to lose control of the ball, and it's going to go over the end line for a goal kick. Trying to restart things quickly is Alex Kirkwood for Knott's Forest. He'll get set between the pipes as his defender will take the goal kick. Winning the ball in the air is Real, that's Amankwa. Trying to play the ball through to Salon de Feur. And coming back to Colin Martin. Colin trying to make some moves through 3 Knott's defenders. Loses it, but Knott's unable to clear it past midfield. So it's Amankwa working on 2 defenders, and he gets by into the box, and he'll put one far post, and he'll find number 20, Matthew Freibaum. But he was flagged for offsides. The goal is disallowed. In the offsides position when Amankwa played the ball in. So it remains 0-0 early in this game. Kick again into the middle, this time touched by Knott's Forest, but ends up at the feet of Real. Makes its way to midfield. And out of defense, it's number 6, Colin Dillon for Real. Last touch by Knott's Forest for a Real throw. In the middle for David Gershwin. Playing it back to his defense, and it's Colin Martin now with the ball, playing it right in front of us to this near side. It's for Ian Allers, playing it down the line into space to Amankwa, and it's number 12, Jacob Caswell, working on Amankwa, and Amankwa turns the corner but will lose the handle, and it'll go out the end line for a goal kick. So we've seen Amankwa get into the box a few times, but not able to get a shot on goal after he gets by with speed. That's his best move, is change the speed that we've seen so far, but just loses the handle on it. So another goal kick for Knott's Forest. Not too many shots against Alex Kirkwood, but the ball's been in his territory far too long. 13, Ryan Kretz bringing the ball up on the far side for Knott's Forest, trying to play it into the middle, but headed away by the Real defense. Number 5 for Real, Alden Green. Trying to play it up to Amankwa. Ball ends up back at the feet of David Gershwin. The Knott's Forest defense almost giving it up right there. and they're going to be able to dump it here to our near side on the left side, and it will go out for a Knott's Forest throw. Some space in the middle for 10, that's Seth Kasipley. Dropping it off to Ryan Kretz, who's going to play it back to his defender over there on the far side, number 4, Nick Velez. Now in control of the ball was Real. Moving it up to Amankwa, the tallest player on the field. And it's just hard to dispossess him, trying to throw some bodies in front, and he loses control of the ball. Looking for some space on this right side is Green. Gets it to Allers. Actually, that was Martin to Green. And Amankwa sends a ball in, ends up at Saladi DeFure's feet. A rip by Colin Martin off some Knott's Forest defenders. Knott's able to clear it just to about the third of the field. And the ball's being pushed up all the way from defense. That was number 9, Elliot Marcus. Knott's defense ends up with the ball, and they're pushing it up, trying to get it out of their defensive third, but unable to get it all the way out. And that ball's going to be played into the middle through offsides, but Alex Kirkwood was there anyway. Kirkwood on the ball, but I don't think he's going to take this kick. He drops back into his box. And the ball is played out by number 11, Spencer Williams. Knott's Forest able to get it into the Real half of the field. And hoping to keep it in that attacking third. 14 on the ball, that was Connor Keefe. Played it back to Seth Kasipley. Trying to find someone on that far side, the right side here, but the ball trickles out of bounds for a Real throw-in. Real trying to clear the ball, and they do to midfield, and they're going to get Amankwa for a foul. So we'll have a free kick for Knott's Forest. On the ball is Kasipley. The right-footed ball will come in swinging to the top of the box. A lot of bodies go up for it. Real gets a piece of it, and they end up with it at their feet. They're trying to find Amankwa on the through ball, and there's 11, Spencer Williams, who's going to play it back to Kirkwood. Trying to find someone in the middle. He did. He found Seth Kasipley, who's played it over to number 7, AJ McDonald. Kasipley loses the handle right there. Colin Martin for Real. Maintaining possession in the middle, he finds David Gershwin, number 23. And they're going to bring it over to Alden Green. Bring it over here to Ian Allers. Finds the feet of number 7, Colin Martin. And Real maintaining possession. A lot of small passes here on this near side. Play a ball into the middle, but it doesn't find anyone. Unable to clear it is Seth Kasipley. And keeping it in for Real is Colin Martin. He finds Salandi DeFure. And Marcus is his first name. He finds someone in the middle for a shot, but easy enough for the keeper, Alex Kirkwood. On the shot was 23, David Gershwin. Alex Kirkwood hasn't really got his hands on the ball much. The ball's been in his half of the field, though, for much of this early part of the first half. Real still looking to get it to Amankwa's feet. Not able to control it. The ball ends up back in Real's possession. And it's Amankwa who's going to end up with the ball on that left side. Far side plays it over to the middle, and a sliding save. He got it with his feet, was Alex Kirkwood. And dropping the ball back for number 5. 5 rips a low shot. One bounce to Kirkwood, and it was knuckling, so he fumbled it, but able to recover and make the save. Shot coming off the foot of Alden Green. Working on the far side is Matthew Freibaum for Real, loses it. David Gershwin in the middle now. Playing it over to Green. Green's gonna find Allers over here. Up to Martin. And that's number 5, Green playing it, trying to play it to Salandi DeFure. Last touch by Real. It will be a Knott's Forest goal kick. So we'll see Spencer Williams again on the ball. Alex Kirkwood will remain in net. Looking to win this ball in the air. It's a lower kick, but Knott's Forest got a piece of it. That was number 12, Jacob Caswell. Now working on that far side is Nick Velez. For Real, Matthew Freibaum over there on that far side. Coming over is number 9, who will take the throw in, Elliot Marcus. And they'll do it again. Unable to clear it the first time. Knott's Forest is trying to dribble it up now. And they find Seth Kasipli playing it out to that far side. That was number 15, Chris Smith. Tries to play the through ball to 14, Connor Keefe, but the ball will go out the end line for a Real goal kick. First goal kick for Real. Won by Knott's Forest, but unable to control it. Real will work it on this near side. They get it to Salandi DeFure. And the ball's played up. Off the head of a Knott's defender. That was number 9, Kyler McLaughlin. Almost ended up in Amakwa's feet. The ball played through all the way to the Real keeper. Ball played out to midfield. Ends up in the possession of Knott's Forest. And they're going to try and play it up this near side, but it's going to slip out. A very un-San Diego-like day today. We've had some sprinkles, some mist constantly during the day. The fields are a little slick. Could give the keepers a tough time on balls hit low. And through balls are going to skip really fast to the keepers. So Real trying to work it on this near side, played up into space, and Amankwa's coming on fast, but playing it back to Alex Kirkwood is number 9 for Knott's Forest, Kyler McLaughlin. They'll play it back to McLaughlin, but he'll lose the handle on it. It'll go out of bounds for a Real throw-in. Throw into Salandi DeFure, and a tough challenge there by number 10, Seth Kasipli. Results in a Real free kick. On the ball is Alden Green. Looks like a left-footed in-swinger. Ball comes in. It's high for Alex Kirkwood, and it's going to go over the crossbar and hit the top of the net. The rosters for Knott's Forest in the black. Number 1, Alex Kirkwood in net. We have Colin Stanley, number 2. Number 3 is Jared Hagart. 4 is Nick Velez. 5, Max Bergman. 6 is Ryan Camara. 7, AJ McDonald. 8, Drew Miller. 9, Kyler McLaughlin. 10 is Seth Kasipli. 11 is Spencer Williams. 12, Jacob Caswell. 13, Ryan Kretz. 15, Chris Smith. 14, Connor Keefe. 16 is Takuya T. Okada, and 17 is Chris Liu. Goal kick from, that was number 11, Spencer Williams. And the ball's moved up past midfield, but will be taken away from Knott's Forest and played up by Real. Someone trying to find the handle on it in the midfield, and Knott's Forest has it, but turns it over. No one really establishing possession right now, but it ends up as a throw-in for Real. Taking the throw-in will be number 9, Elliot Marcus. They find Amonqua's feet, and he has a good turn. He's trying to go through everyone, gets tripped up, but the ball ends up at the feet of number 20, Matt Freibaum. Working hard on that left side is Amonqua. Got 2 Knott's Forest players, but he dishes it to Freibaum, who will lose possession. Seth Kasipli trying to bring it up now. And last touch by Knott's Forest. And we got a substitution. It's almost a line change here for Bethesda Real.
Hey, Chris, you got to wait for them to come off.
5 off and 5 on. And the lineups for Bethesda Real: number 2 is Nabil Odalate, 3 is Christian Porras, 4 Ian Allers, 5 Alden Green, 6 Colin Dillon, 7 Colin Martin, 9 Elliot Marcus, 10 Ya Amonqua, 14 is J.D. Zawatsky, 15 is Chris Deshulo, 16 Alexander Starin. Matthew Freibaum is number 20, 23 is David Gershwin, 25 in goal Alec Doxer, 30 is Jake Werner, and 31 Marcus Salandi DeFure. Knotts with possession now. Trying to play it up off number 15 for Bethesda, Chris Deshulo. Throw in for Knotts. Last touch by Knott's Forest, throw in for Real. Another throw in for Real. Not giving Knott's Forest too much to do over there on the far side. They find Amonqua once again. Looking to find someone, goes all the way to the far side, trying to find 14 J.P. Zawatsky. And it will go out over the end line for a goal kick. So Real putting on the pressure early in this first half, but haven't come away with too many good scoring opportunities. They had a free kick that sailed over the net, and a shot from just outside the box right at Alex Kirkwood. Real switching the field now, getting all the way over to Elliot Marcus on the far side, but he'll lose it to number 4, Nick Velez. Trying to push the ball up Knott's Forest, but he just couldn't find anyone up front. Trying to send in another through ball, but easily collected by Alex Kirkwood. Kirkwood with the punt, just about to midfield. No one wins it in the air, but Real will come away with it and send it forward. Trying to flick it on was number 15, Chris Deshulo. Knotts ends up with the ball. And Kasipli trying to play a through ball, but there was no one there to receive it. Trying to come back on this near side was Real, but the ball was intercepted by number 7, AJ McDonald. And that's 14 running onto the ball for Real. JP Zawatsky on a good ball played in. Number 7, Colin Martin. And JP does some smooth moves to get it into the box. And it's finally cleared out by Knott's Forest. Getting a foot on it was number 9, Kyler McLaughlin. So it will be a corner for Real. On the ball is Alden Green. As I mentioned earlier, Amonqua, the tallest player on the field, as we get the left-footed in-swinging ball from Alden Green. Headed out by the Knott's Forest defense. So they'll do it again. It's actually a fair matchup between Alex Kirkwood and Ya Amonqua, height-wise. But Amonqua doing His job seems to be to get in Kirkwood's way. And another in-swinging ball from the left-footed corner. And the ball will be cleared, but no one up for Knott's. So Real will play the ball in. It doesn't get through. Would have been an offsides had it gone through. And I think that that's what they're going to call. He was in the offsides position when the ball was played. The ball never made it through, but the referee deeming it appropriate to give Knott's the free kick. Trying to play some small ball out of defense is Knott's. Real putting on some pressure, but giving Kasipli some room, and he finds 14. That's Connor Keefe in the left corner. Connor trying to make something of it, and they're going to get him for a push. So it'll be a free kick upcoming for Real. This is as deep as Knott's has been in the Real defense thus far in the game. And we're going to get a substitution for Knott's. Coming off is 12, Jacob Caswell. Number 7, AJ McDonald. 4, Nick Velez. And 14, Connor Keefe. 4 fresh legs, 4 sets of fresh legs coming on. We also had a substitution for Real. Monkwa came off, and it was Salandi DeFure that came on. Can't convert the easy pass. It goes out of bounds for a Real throw-in. And they'll do it again. Last touch by Knott's Forest. And they're just advancing up the field now. This is their 3rd throw-in on this near side. Trying to find room back, but ball squirts out of bounds. So a Knott's throwing. They're going to go back to, that's Spencer back there. Spencer Williams. And they're moving the ball up. They get it past midfield, but Real ends up with the ball. Playing it right on the touchline here, and they're going to let it play. Ball stayed on the line. And now it's 17. First we've seen of him, Chris Liu, trying to work something up there in the front. A little give and go back to Liu. Worked that nicely with Drew Miller. And so Drew Miller's now in this corner with a lot of white jerseys around him. Coming in support is 5, Max Bergman. Real trying to move the ball up now.
That's it, guys.
And good job, Marcus Salandi DeFure, letting the ball go. He let it go for number 7, Colin Martin, but it ended up back in the possession of Knott's Forest. And advancing it up the field, Knott's Forest will be rewarded with a throw-in. Kyler McLaughlin will take the throw for Knott's Forest. They're going to find 16, that's Takuya. He goes by T. Okada. Ball intercepted by Ryan Kretz. Played up by Ryan Camara. Last touch by Real player for a Knott's Forest throw. T. Okada finds Chris Liu. 2 of the 4 substitutions that Knott's made. Ball ends up at the feet of Seth Kasipli. And we're getting some showers now. It's not a shower yet, it's called a sprinkle, but we will continue. Last touch by Real for a Knott's throw-in. Down. Ball's played up and into the Knott's defense. Spencer Williams plays it back to Alex Kirkwood. Tries to clear it, ends up at the feet of a Knott's defender. There's Ryan Camara over there on the far side. Seth Kasipli plays the ball into the middle. Touched a couple of Knott's players. They had 3 up there, but the Real defense ends up with the clear. So looking to get something going quickly here. is Knott's Forest. Kyler McLaughlin playing it to T. Okada, who plays it back to McLaughlin, who sends it into the middle, but Real able to send it forward. And all of a sudden, it is halftime. So a good matchup so far in this game between Bethesda Real and Knott's Forest. Knott's Forest, as I mentioned, from San Diego, and Bethesda Real all the way from Maryland. Bethesda Real in white, Knott's Forest in black. It is 0-0 as we go to halftime in this San Diego Surf Cup at San Diego Polo Club, opening game for boys under 16. We'll see you in the second half. And the second half is underway. Bethesda Real off to a quick start. And it's going to be Knott's called for the foul. Free kick upcoming for Real. So Real hot out the gate in this to start the second half. And number 7 on the ball, Colin Martin, right-footed, in-swinging ball coming in. Ahead on it from Knott's Forest, but played right back in. Number 5. Wow, number 5, Alden Green. That ball's going to end up in the back of the net. I think everyone here, including Alden Green, including Alex Kirkwood, and everyone here thought that ball was over the net. Kirkwood looked up like it was going over, and before you knew it, it's tucked in the top of the crossbar for the first goal of the game. And just like that, it's 1-0 in the opening minutes of the second half. Bethesda Real up 1-0 to Knott's Forest. So hot out the gate, and they are rewarded with their first goal. Goal coming from long distance off the foot of number 5, Alden Green. The ball ended up at his feet off the corner that was attempted to be cleared. And actually was cleared pretty far, but sending it in from long range, catching Alex Kirkwood off his line. The ball ends up in the back of the net. Free kick after the handball by Alden Green. And it's Knott's Forest pushing it forward, but will lose possession. Last touch by Knott's Forest, throw in for Real. Real making the trip all the way from Maryland here to San Diego for the San Diego Surf Cup at the Polo Club. Field's in pretty good shape. And all of a sudden, the ball squirts free up to the forward, number 17, Chris Liu for Knott's Forest. Tries to find someone in the middle, but the Real defense able to get a piece of it. And now looking to push it up at the feet of Amankwa. But he turns it over to number 9, Kyler McLaughlin. And it's going to go Knott's Forest's way. Oh, the ref will change his decision. And it's now a Real. Excuse me, it was a Knott's ball. Knott's now pushing it up at the ball's at the feet of T. Okada, who's working it into the middle, and it's going to squirt through a couple players. T's still working. Finds 8 on the outside. Drew Miller, who will send a high ball in, trying to find the head of 17, Chris Liu, but the ball collected by Alec Doxer. It's hard to get a lot of power on a ball that's falling straight from the sky. I don't think that's what he was looking for. Drew Miller on that cross wants to drive one in low.
Go Real!
So on the outlet from Alec Doxer, the ball ends up out of bounds for a Knott's Forest throw-in. Seth Kasipley with possession in the middle of the field. Got it to the feet of Drew Miller, tried to turn, and they ended up calling a foul on Real. So here comes a direct kick for Knott's Forest, about 25 yards out. Over the ball is Seth Kasipley, and you can see Amonkwa trying to line up the wall, keeping Alec Doxer in position.
Marcus, you're gonna have to help out. Here.
So they've got 4 in the wall. Seth Kasipley on the ball.
Marcus on 13. On 13.
And Amonkwa will join the wall now. Kasipley will go right at the net. Tries to go near post over the wall, but getting there in time is Alec Doxter, able to make the save. A great save, and pushes it just outside the post over the end line for a corner. Kasipley, who took the shot, will take the corner now. Right foot in swinging ball. Driven near post, and it ends up, tries to chest it and go near post. Off the post was 17, Chris Liu, but I think they got him for a handball. Close call, but it will be a free kick for Real. So a free kick that was saved by Alec Doxer, and then the corner kick goes off the post. Not much to do about it though because of the handball. Real unable to get it out of their zone. 16, T. Okada working the ball now, trying to find someone in the middle. But blocking it was 20 for Real, Matthew Freibaum.
That's it.
Last touch by Real. Throw in for Knott's Forest. So after the goal by Real, Alden Green putting it in. The ball's been in their defensive third for much of the game since. Trying to send a long ball in was 13, Ryan Kretz, but Real able to clear it. Now pushing it up on the far side is Marcus Salandi DeFeur. Runs into a wall at midfield. Last touch by Knott's Forest for a Real throw-in. So that was, as I was saying, after the goal, Knott's Forest doing a good job of applying the pressure on the Real defense. They had a good shot on goal from Seth Kasipley going over the wall, trying to sneak it in near post, but Alec Doxer making a great save. And then on the corner, got a shot off right after the handball that went off the post. But now the ball makes its way into the midfield area, possessed by Knott's Forest. And they try and push it up, and number 16, T. Okada, with a very wild attempt at the ball. He caught a lot of the defender, and a yellow card will be issued to T. Okada. Uncontrolled aerial tackle, I guess is what you would call it, and he caught a good piece of the defender for Real. Trying to get a number on him. It was 16. Alexander Starin, who took the business end of that. So it looked to be a pretty violent tackle right there. A yellow card comes out. I don't think there was any malintent there, but he did catch the better part of the defender. And a substitution coming off is Chris Liu and T. Okada. Fresh legs on. We got number 7, AJ McDonald, and 15, Chris Smith for Knott's Forest. In their own defensive third, Knott's Forest trying to move it out on the ground. And they'll turn it over.
Come on, guys.
Throw in for Real. Throw in to Colin Martin, who will drop it back to the midfield. Playing it all the way to the other side, the defender, number 9, Elliot Marcus. Working on it right there in the middle is David Gershwin, number 23. Back to the far side for number 4, Ian Allers. And they're going to get Marcus Solandi DeFeur on the offsides call. So a few offsides calls here for Real in the game. Trying to push the ball forward, make some through balls on some runs. Haven't really scored a good opportunity from those through balls. Just a couple of offsides calls. And it looked to be a possible obstruction call, and that's what Real is looking for, but it's going to go the other way on Akwanda. Or Amonkwa, excuse me.
Okay, next time, yeah.
Overrunning the defender there. Call could have gone either way, but goes in favor of Notts Forest. You rarely see a obstruction call in soccer. It's the forgotten call. But you're not allowed to keep a player from the ball if you are not within distance of being able to touch it. Last touch by Notts Forest, a throwing upcoming for Real. Taking it on the far side is Ian Allers. Ends up at the feet of Seth Kasipli. Pushes it up to the forward, but they were looking for number 15 on this near side, Chris Smith, unable to get him the ball. Some good one touches in there by Notts Forest. Moving it back to the midfield. Now sending a through ball. They got 2 players up there, and it's going to be Chris Smith making the run, but the ball ends up in the box, and it's easy enough at the feet of Alec Doxer. And he will pick it up for the punt. And it is Real winning it in the air. The flick onto Amonkwa. And he's trying to do too much with it by himself. He had DeFeur on the far side open, but just didn't see him. Trying to work something out on the ground is Real. They will turn it over in the midfield. Notts Forest trying to push it up hard on that far side. But it will end up to Real. And it's Amonkwa playing the ball to Solandi DeFeur, who plays it back to Amonkwa on the far side. And we're going to have it last touched by Real for a Notts Forest goal kick. Some good passing sequences right there from Real. Ball played short into the middle.
That's it, Elliot.
And Real trying to pounce on it.
That's it. What you see, what you see.
Now working the ball up on this left side is Colin Dillon.
Good ball.
And he's going to play the ball through, but he is offsides. That's Colin Martin.
Good work, guys. Nice playing, ball. Good run, Colin.
So maybe looking to slow things down here. Notts Forest needs to get the ball out of their own zone. Ball sent up into the middle, and it's won by Real. And they were going to play the advantage because Real maintained possession, but the referee deeming it appropriate to give him the free kick on the foul. Amonkwa ended up with the ball at his feet with his back to the goal. So he allowed the advantage and then thought it better to give him the free kick. On the ball is 7, Colin Martin. Tries to chip it in to Solandi DeFeur, but they're going to get him for a tug on the defender. Trying to play the ball quick is Notts Forest, but it's going to be stolen by Elliot Marcus. Little give and go action with number 20 right there. That was Matthew Frybaum with the give and go back to Elliot Marcus, and Marcus sent a ball in. Not too much on it though, off the left foot. Easy enough for Alex Kirkwood. And just like that, the ball is in the Real defensive third. Knott's not able to keep it in though. Real trying to work the ball out and will play it out of bounds. Some words between the Real players. Trying to communicate a a plan of a counterattack, or at least just getting it out of their zone. But the ball will stay in the attacking third for Knott's Forest. And he's going to find the feet of Chris Smith. That was number 7 with the pass, A.J. McDonald, who's on the ball right now, working on the near side. But you'll find Chris Smith again. He's going to drop it off to Ryan Camara, who will play the ball in high. And the challenge from number 3, Jared Hagart, deemed illegal and a foul. So the free kick for Real. But Knott's will take possession of the free kick. And trying to make something happen over there was Connor Keefe. Connor Keefe with his back to the goal. Lays it back, and they're going to push it up. That was number 8 with the ball, Drew Miller. Couldn't find any help, though.
Nice.
Amonkwa finds Colin Martin, number 7 on the far side, who plays it all the way up. But the Knott's defender plays it back to Alex Kirkwood, who will play it out of bounds. But applying the pressure is Real. They still have a 1-goal lead in this game. In the
Great ball, guys.
second half of the second half, it is Solandi DeFure trying to lay the ball off in the middle of the box. No one there to pick it up, though. And now mounting some counterattack is Knott's Forest. And they're going to say that the ball went out of bounds before it was played up to the forward, so a throw-in for Real.
They got to stop waiting until they get inside the goalpost, you know?
Real with the throw off a Knott's defender, they'll do it again. 15 yards up.
Right.
Taking the throw is Ian Allers.
Man on!
And he found Alden Green, who tried to find Marcus Solandi DeFure.
Good anticipation, Elliot.
But DeFure lost the grip of the ball, and it ended up in the hands of Alex Kirkwood. So pressing now is Knott's Forest. They've got something going here with Seth Kasipley, number 10 with the ball,
Behind you, Elliot!
trying to drop it off, and they do. I don't know if that was a shot, but it found 15. That was 15, Chris Smith, who played it into the middle to Connor Keefe, and he was bumped from behind, went down, and he got the penalty kick. And a yellow card on the Real defender.
All right, Colin.
That was number 6 right there, Colin Dillon, with the foul, and the yellow card on the bump from behind in the box. And there will be a penalty kick. It's Alec Doxer in goal for Bethesda Real. And I think taking the kick will be Connor Keefe. Nope, on the ball is Drew Miller, number 8. So Drew Miller taking the penalty kick for Knott's Forest. And in goal is Alec Doxer, trying to be big. Here comes the kick, and it's low to the left side, and it will beat Alex Doxer. So that'll even up the game, 1-1. 1-1 here. This is the boys under 13 game for George Langevin Productions at San Diego Surf Cup at the San Diego Polo Club. This is field number 4, and a tie game, 1-1, between Bethesda Real from Maryland and Knott's Forest from San Diego. And a substitution for Real and Knott's Forest.
Come on, you're burning time, man.
Let's go, energy, White.
Come on, Real, play hard. Shake it up. Well, you didn't do anything.
Let's go, Marcus.
So 1-1 here, this opening game, as Real will take the kickoff. And just taking it up the gut was Marcus Solandi DeFure, and it ends up at the feet of number 20, Matt Freibaum. And a call for a cleats up slide tackle will be a yellow card on number 3, Christian Porras. I believe he's just into the game.
All right, come on, Real.
And that's the third yellow card in the game. Trying to work it out of the back on the ground is Knott's Forest, playing it across to the far side of the field. Playing it back to number 12, Jacob Caswell, trying to push it up. And it was Knott's now trying to push it up the gut, but the Real defense able to get a piece of it. And weren't able to clear it initially, but it's Amankwa who's taking the ball on the near side, trying to get through everyone with the speed. And there's a bump from number 12. That was Jacob Caswell. And the ref with some words to the Real bench. And that was a strong tackle right there. And I don't think we're going to see a card, which is surprising since we've already seen 3 thus far on tackles less severe. And the ref will go talk to the line judge about what just transpired. But it, regardless, will be a free kick for Real. Maybe the referee is looking for the culprit to issue a card, which would not surprise me in the least. I believe it was Caswell on the tackle, and there is the yellow card. So the 4th yellow in the game. This is a boys under 13 matchup. 4 cards in the game thus far, 1 resulting in a penalty kick, which led to the Knott's Forest goal. Knott's Forest scored on the penalty kick in the latter part of this second half. And the ball sent in off the right foot. That was number 7, Colin Martin. But pushing it up now is Knott's Forest. So the PK at about the midpoint of the second half, after the first goal scored by Real in the early parts of the second half off the foot of number 5, Alden Green. And there Alec Doxer able to collect that through ball. Trying to keep it in is Knott's Forest. But they will lose possession. And sending the ball up to number 20, Matt Freibaum. I believe that was number 7, Colin Martin again.
Nice, man.
And number 4, the defender, Nick Velez for Knott's Forest, will send the ball out over the touchline. And a couple substitutions, 1 from each team. Number 14 coming on for Real. That's JP Zawatsky, and number 14 coming off for Knott's Forest, Connor Keefe. So sending a ball in all the way to the far post, but no one there to get it. That was number 9, Elliot Marcus, sending the ball in. Now the ball is dropped off and floated into the box. And no one able to get a piece of it on the Real side. Knott's trying to clear it up, but there's no one to receive it up in the attack. And the ball's heading out of bounds, last touch by Knott's Forest. So with his back to the goal,
Here's Elliot.
T. Okada will drop it off to Alex Kirkwood. Trying to send it back in was number 9, Elliot Marcus for Real. And they're going to play it into the middle for number 5, Alden Green, who scored the 1 goal for Real. Ball on the far side in possession of Colin Martin, trying to get a cross off, but the Knott's Forest defense pushes it back towards midfield. And it was last touched by Knott's Forest, and a throw for Real. So they're going to find Colin Martin again in that far side corner. He's got the end line. He's going to drop it to Amankwa, trying to volley it, but didn't get enough of it. And there was number 5. It ended up in his possession, Alden Green, trying to get another goal from distance. And now on the run is 17, Chris Liu. Chris Liu with a one-on-one, but a good recovery run there by number 2 for Real, Nabil Odalate. And it ends up in the hands of the keeper, Alec Doxer. So Knott's Forest threatening on the breakaway run by Chris Liu, but the recovery run from the defender able to get the ball into the hands of Alec Doxer.
Thank you, ref.
And a whistle. I believe there was a foul. And it will be taken by Colin Martin. Actually, they're going to give it to the ref, and they're going to reload here from the Real defense. Kick sent forward, trying to get it to Amonkwa. But Knott's Forest able to settle it, but not able to clear it initially. Now it's Tiakata finding the midfielder, number 3, Jared Hagart, in the middle. And some strong play by Amonkwa. Hagart hanging all over him. And it ends up at Chris Liu's feet, and he's got the breakaway. They try and tackle him. They got part of the ball. I believe that was number 9. That was Elliot Marcus able to get a piece of the ball and disrupt Liu's run.
Come on, Real.
And the ball was played out the touchline for a Knott's Forest throw. Very dangerous tackle there by Elliot Marcus, but he got all ball. Coming in from almost from behind, and a quick shot into the hands of Alec Doxer. So the punt doesn't get by Knott's Forest. And Christian Porras playing it back to his defense, but he wasn't ready for it. And there's a foul. Foul on number 7, AJ McDonald. Salandi DeFure went down.
Come on, quickly, Elliot, come on.
In the late moments of the game, things slow getting started right here, but they're going to play it on the overlapping run to Marcus.
I don't know. But somebody should
Played it into space, but no one there to receive it. Cleared out the touchline by Knott's Forest. And these substitutions kind of coming on the fly. Real trying to send some attackers in, and Knott's Forest sending in some new defenders. We have a throw for Real upcoming. Taking it will be J.P. Zawatsky. And off the head of Ryan Kretz to the feet of Seth Kasipli. And they're going to play another through ball, but a good tackle. Number 16 right there, Alex Starrin, disrupting Chris Liu's run once again.
Get it away from him.
Chris Liu's had many opportunities, and now it's Tiakata working on that far side with the left foot going far post, and it will be far post side netting, beating Alex Doxer low. A great run by Tiakata on the far side of the field, and he's able to get his foot on it going far post, just out of the reach of Alec Doxer in the late moments of this game, making it 2-1. Knott's Forest on top of Bethesda Real. Looking to get things started quickly here is Real after a quick substitution. So whatever changes were made by Knott's Forest end up resulting in a goal. A couple substitutions a minute before that goal was scored. All goals scored in this second half. It's 2-1 Knott's Forest. And a slide tackle, 17, Chris Liu on Ya Amonkwa. Quick restart, finding Marcus Salandi DeFure. And he'll lay it off to Amonkwa. Ref says play on. Amonkwa needs some help. He's got a lot of black shirts around him. We'll drop it off to 30, Jacob Werner. And Jake will take the throw in. And that will be the final whistle. Knott's Forest gets a late goal in the last minute or two to take the game 2-1 in this boys under 13 opening game of the flight. An 11 o'clock start. It is just about noon now here in San Diego at the San Diego Surf Cup at the Polo Club. Great game played by both teams. A rough game, very physical game. 4 yellow cards issued in the game. But I don't think there's any bad blood between these two teams. Well fought on both sides. But the luck went Knott's Forest's way. They win this game 2-1 here in San Diego. I'm Matt DePalma for George Langevin Productions. Thanks you, and we'll see you again real soon. And here it is, George Langevin Productions. I'm Matt DePalma here with the Knott's Forest team here in San Diego. Local boys here. This is an under 13s team. And they just played. They just won the opening game 2-1 against, I believe it was Bethesda Real from Maryland. And we have 2 players here. I want you guys to introduce yourselves. I want your name, number, and position.
I'm Kyler McLaughlin. I'm number 9, and I play left defender.
I'm Jacob Caswell, and I'm number 12, and I play stopper.
All right, guys. So you guys are local. You guys know the area. What are you guys going to do in between games to relax or to prepare for your next game later today?
I'm probably going to go somewhere where it's air conditioned, or I guess warm since now the weather is rainy.
We were going to go to the movies, but now I'm not quite sure because of the traffic, so we're just probably going to try to get out of the heat.
That's right, traffic's pretty bad here in San Diego at the Polo Grounds. So, you guys had a good win. You should be excited about it. Anyone you want to say hi to? Give big ups on the camera.
My parents. Hi.
My parents and, of course, my uncle who came from Dallas, Texas to come watch.
All right, thanks, guys. 2 of the Knott's Forest players. Let's get 2 more. And we got 2 more players from the Knott's Forest team. I want your name, number, and position, guys.
I'm Jared Hager. I play forward and left mid.
I'm Adrian McDonald. My number is 7, and I play usually anywhere in the midfield.
All right, guys. That's very un-San Diego-like weather here, so you guys are probably going to get out of this mist and rain. Yeah. It's also still kind of warm here, but what are your plans to get ready for the next game and relax?
I'll probably get a bite to eat and get some heat on me and keep warm and stuff.
And I drink a lot of fluids and just like he said, get a bite to eat and just relax and prepare for the next game. Just be ready.
All right, got to get ready physically and mentally. Anyone you guys want to say hi to back at home?
To my parents. They drive me down to San Diego a lot, so it's always good.
Everyone who has helped out getting me to the fields, which is a lot of people, so thank you.
All right, that's 2 more players from the Knott's Forest team. Let's get 2 more. Back with 2 more players here from the Knott's Forest team. Name, number, and position, guys.
I'm Christopher Smith. I go by Smith. I'm number 15, and I play right mid.
I'm Ryan Camara. I'm number 6, and I play right defender.
All right, guys, the local team, what's on your agenda in between games?
Probably hang out. I'm going to go watch our friends. They came from Japan. They're playing. So just hang out, get a bite to eat, just totally rest.
I might go home and just rest at home and prepare for the next game.
All right, guys, and this is your chance to say hi to whoever you want.
my parents, and my sister who just won a national tournament for dance.
I'd like to say hi to my parents and my sister who's playing a soccer tournament right now too.
All right, thanks, guys. 2 more Knott's Forest players. 2 more Knott's players here. Name, number, and position, guys.
I'm Drew Miller and I'm number 8 and I play forward.
I'm Colin Stanley. I'm number 2 and I play left and right mid.
All right, guys. You guys have the advantage over the other teams, the non-local teams, because they're going to get caught up in the San Diego activities. There's so much to do here in San Diego. You guys are locals. You've done everything, maybe. What are you going to do in between games to stay prepared?
Chill, sit in the pool, not use my energy, rest.
Get something to eat, and I'm watching the Japanese team that we scrimmaged 2 nights ago.
Very cool. You want to stay prepared. Who do you guys want to say hi to back home?
My parents, just thanks, and my coach for teaching us all these years.
My coach, my parents, and my brother and sister.
All right, thanks. 2 more players from the victorious Knott's Forest team. We got 2 more players from the Knott's Forest team. Name, number, and position.
My name's Connor Keefe. I'm number 14 and I play forward.
My name's Ryan Kretz. I'm 13 and I play center mid.
Thought you guys were under 13s.
No, my number's 13.
Oh, okay. So, what's on your guys' agenda for in between games and the rest of the weekend?
Well, I'm in between games. I'm either going to be staying with him or with my parents, just watching games or relaxing at my house.
We're probably just going to get something to eat and just relax and just try to stay out of the sun.
All right, and who do you guys want to say hi to?
I'll say hi to my whole family.
I just want to say hi to my family and Eric.
All right, 2 more players, please. I got 2 more for you from Knott's Forest. Name, number, and position.
My name is Nick Velez. I'm number 4 and I play right defender or right mid. My name is Spencer Williams. I'm number 11 and I play sweeper.
You guys got any plans for this weekend other than soccer, in between games and whatnot?
We're probably just going to relax, probably watch the other 2 teams in our brackets to see if we can find out any strategies we can use against them. Just probably watch other games and stuff like that.
Who do you guys want to say hi to?
I want to say hi to my number 1 fans, my mom and my dad, and I want to say hi to both of my relatives. I want to say hi to my family and my sisters.
All right, thanks, guys. And I think we got 1 left from Knott's Forest. All right, last and not least is the keeper. Your name?
My name's Alex Kirkwood and number 1 and I play keeper, obviously.
That's right. You had a good game. You guys fell behind, but able to come back and win the game. What are you going to do specifically to improve your game the rest of the weekend?
Well, not really trying to improve my game because we don't have that much time, but just don't make it worse. Stay out of the sun and stay hydrated. So.
Right on. And who do you want to say hi to?
My family and my coach for helping me so much at soccer.
All right, thanks very much, guys. That's the Knott's Forest team just north of San Diego. All right, Matt DePalma here with Eric Anderson, the coach of the Knott's Forest team. You guys pulled out the victory. It was 0-0 at halftime, and could have gone either way in the second half. It was actually Bethesda Real with the first goal, but you guys able to muster up enough to come back with 2 goals and win the game. Is that what you always expect from your team? They don't put their heads down and they stay true and play all the way to the end?
I think, one of the things we say a lot, as you get better with soccer, you got to be used to 1-0 goal games and stuff. They showed a lot of character, I think, and they gave up that goal, and I think they actually fought a little bit harder, tried to pick it up, and, they actually played better too. That first half was, they're on us quite a bit and stuff. I think they ironed some things out. You got to like that character, coming back in a game like that, so just pleased with them.
Were you guys here early enough to see the other teams in your bracket? Anything that you're anticipating or expect to see in your next game?
Well, the great thing about Surf Cup, obviously, is every team is going to be good. So, that's a top team, one of the top teams probably in the nation. And So I was here a little bit early, watched the other two teams play, and it looks like, you know, you're not going to get any easy ones. So we're looking forward to it, though.
All right, well, you heard it here. This is Eric Anderson, coach of the Knott's Forest team, with the victory in their first game of the San Diego Surf Cup here in San Diego. I want to thank you guys for a good game and a good broadcast. Thanks for talking with us. Always appreciate it, and good luck in the rest of the That was the Knott's Forest team that we just talked to. They won their first game 2-1 against Bethesda Real from Maryland. They fell behind 1-0 but came back to win 2-1 off a penalty kick and a late goal right before the end of the game. For George Langevin Productions, I'm Matt DePalma. We'll see you next time.